Today, we're going to talk about an idea that's at the core of pretty much every big breakthrough, and it's this. It's not about finding the right answer. It's about asking the right question.
Seriously, think about it for a second. A problem pops up, maybe at work, maybe at home. What's the very first thing your brain does? If you're like me, or pretty much anyone else, you leap straight into solution mode. Okay, how do I fix this? But what if that instinct, that immediate rush to solve, is actually the biggest mistake you can make?
You know, this isn't some newfangled idea. Albert Einstein himself said that if he had an hour to solve a problem, he'd spend 55 of those minutes just thinking about the problem, only 5 minutes on the solution. He knew that the quality of your answer depends entirely on the quality of your question.
And that, right there, is the heart of the issue. When we just take a problem as it's handed to us, we run this huge risk of coming up with a brilliant, elegant solution to a problem that doesn't actually matter. We end up solving the wrong thing entirely.
So, how do we dodge this bullet? Well, it all comes down to a practice called problem framing. And this is where we intentionally shift our energy away from that frantic search for an answer, and instead we put all our focus into really understanding the question itself. At its core, framing isn't just a single step. It's a journey. It's a process of discovery. You're peeling back the layers of a situation to figure out what is really going on, instead of just reacting to the problem that's sitting on the surface.
And a huge piece of that journey is about questioning everything you think you know. You have to actively hunt for different ways of seeing the situation, challenge your own built-in assumptions, and just keep asking, wait a minute, is there any other way to look at this?
And that's the end game right there. The goal isn't just to define the problem you were given, it's to find a better one. A deeper, more meaningful problem that's hiding just out of sight. That's the art of it.
Now, to make this all super clear, let's dive into a classic story that just perfectly shows the power of reframing in the real world. Okay, so picture this. You're the manager of an old office building. Your tenants are furious. They're all complaining the elevators are way too slow and they're threatening to move out. The problem seems obvious, right? The elevators are slow, so your mind instantly goes to technical fixes. We need new motors, a faster pulley system. Maybe we need to spend millions on a whole new elevator shaft.
But hang on, let's just pause and reframe this. Is the problem really that the elevator is too slow? Or is the problem that the experience of waiting for the elevator is just awful and boring? Look at these two frames. The first one, the technical problem, leads you down a very expensive engineering rabbit hole. But the second one, the human problem, that opens up a whole new universe of possibilities.
And that was the big aha moment. A young psychologist who was working on this realized people weren't actually upset about the number of seconds ticking by. They were upset because waiting with nothing to do was just plain frustrating. He reframed the problem from one of mechanics to one of psychology.
So the solution? It had nothing to do with speed. They installed large mirrors in the elevator lobbies. And just like that, people had something to do. They could check their hair, watch other people in the reflection. The boredom vanished. And almost overnight, the complaints, they stopped completely. A cheap, simple fix that solved the real problem. Now, here's where it gets even cooler. Framing isn't just a one-and-done thing you do at the start. For really complex challenges, the problem you're solving and the solution you're designing actually evolve together. They kind of grow up together. The more you explore solutions, the deeper your understanding of the problem becomes. I absolutely love this analogy from Tina Seelig at Stanford. If I ask you, what's 5 plus 5? That's an analysis problem. There's only one right answer, 10. But what if I ask, what two numbers add up to 10? Well, now it's a design problem. It could be 9 and 1, or 20 and -10, or 5.2 and 4.8. By reframing the question, you open up this infinite landscape of potential answers, which forces you to ask even better questions. Okay, I get it. This all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Well, let's look at two really simple but incredibly powerful tools that can help you start reframing problems right away. First up, the 5W canvas. Who, what, where, when, and the big one, why. Think about that myth of the NASA space pen. If you frame the problem as astronauts need a way to write in space, a pencil seems like a decent solution.
But now look at frame B. When you ask why they need it, you uncover the real issue. In zero gravity, tiny flecks of graphite breaking off a pencil are a catastrophic hazard. They could short out electronics or get in an astronaut's eye. So the problem isn't about writing anymore, it's about safety. Now that is a problem worth solving.
Another amazing tool is called an empathy map. This is all about getting out of your own head and stepping directly into the shoes of the person who's actually facing the problem. You map out what they're saying out loud, what they might be secretly thinking, what actions are taking, and how they're feeling emotionally. This process helps you get past the surface level stuff and see the deeper frustrations where the real problems are usually hiding. So at the end of the day, problem framing is so much more than a tool or a technique. It's really a fundamental shift in how you look at the world, how you approach any challenge that comes your way. It's about adopting a whole new mindset.
Adopting this mindset really comes down to embracing 4 core beliefs. First, you just assume the real problem is almost always hidden. Second, you accept that it's going to take real work to uncover it. Third, you understand that the problem and the solution are going to evolve together. And finally, and this is the hard one, even when you think you have a great solution, you have to be willing to step back and challenge your own frame. To keep asking, are we sure this is the most important problem we could be solving right now?
So the next time you're about to jump on a solution, just stop. Take a breath and ask yourself if you're really, truly working on the right problem. What important challenge in your job or in your life might look completely different if you just gave yourself a moment to reframe it? The answer to that could change absolutely everything.